Online advertising on Facebook and Instagram is about to undergo a gigantic change because of a new feature on the iPhone. This could actually destroy small businesses if they're not prepared. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do right now to make sure that you get ahead of the game. And stick around to the end because I have an extra tip that's really going to help you crush it on Facebook and Instagram when all of these changes take place. Okay, so now I want to sort of take you through exactly what's going on here. So basically, what's happening is that in iOS 14, which is already out, but there are new features coming to iOS 14, which are going to make it so that when you're on your phone and you install a new app or an app updates, like if you have Facebook, it's going to update because it's going to have to comply with this. Otherwise, Apple will kick it out of the App Store. A little pop-up is going to come up, and it's going to say, "Do you want this app to track your data?" Basically. Obviously, Facebook is terrified by this. They're absolutely terrified because they think most people are going to say no. They don't want their data tracked. And of course, what most people don't know, although I'm all in favor of data privacy, at the same time, a lot of people don't understand that if they opt out of tracking data, they're making a movement towards seeing less personalized ads. So you may be in your feed and start I might start getting targeted for wedding dresses or something. Who knows? It's going to be much harder to target people and harder to retarget people and much harder to track conversions. So how well your Facebook and Instagram ads are doing. Now, this is not going to be a huge sea change immediately. It's going to slowly happen over time. But as Facebook puts it, you might, for example, and this is what they say in their documentation, if you're spending $50 and you usually get 5 sales from this, you may spend $50 and get 2 sales from it, for example. And while this might not seem like a big thing, think about this at scale. The difference between 2 sales on that $50 and 5 sales on that $50 is going to be the difference in breaking even or not breaking even. Probably. It won't just hurt your ROAS. So that means that you're likely going to have to spend even more on Facebook. But luckily, there are some things that we can do. And so there's a few steps that I want you to take right now. This is for business owners and any marketers out there who are implementing things for clients. Although I highly recommend, this is what we're doing with our clients, wrapping your clients into the process to make sure that everybody is on the same page about what's going on here. Okay? So let me make sure that I am on the right tool here. Okay. Good. So basically, there are a few things that you have to make sure to do right now. You need to verify your domain. This is very, very important. And you'll do this in Facebook. If you have not verified your domain, you need to do this right now. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You verify your domain, you get everything sort of straight in an order and good to go. The next thing that you need to think about is getting CAPI installed. And what CAPI is it's basically an integration between Facebook and Shopify, Facebook and WordPress and WooCommerce, whatever it may be, wherever you sell online, that basically passes data back and forth between them without needing necessarily all of the power of the Facebook Pixel to do that. So if you don't know what the Facebook Pixel is, it's that little code, that little piece of code that goes on your website that allows you to track everything that happens within your Facebook advertising. So the Pixel tracks purchase events, every single event under the sun, and now you're only going to be able to use 8 core events, which is not going to affect most advertisers, but will definitely affect some. But that's one change that's happening. And basically, when you install this on your site, it's going to make it so that you're not just reliant on the Facebook Pixel, but things are going to change anyway, no matter what. But this is going to make it a lot easier because it's going to allow you to track your data better. Now, see, this is the way that it goes. When you tell Facebook to get a purchase on Facebook, you're saying, go get that purchase. So when Facebook's doing that, they're saying, oh, okay, great. So I'm going to go find people that are most likely to purchase and then go trigger for those events. So when people purchase, it sends a snap message back to Facebook ads and it says, boom, somebody purchased. Great. And so it starts to gather that information and optimizes your ads in the algorithm to be able to optimize for that event. Problem is, if all of a sudden people are saying, no, don't track me, when they buy something through Facebook, that information will not be sent back. And since that information isn't being sent back, the Facebook algorithm can't optimize your ads, and all of a sudden, you're up a creek without a paddle because you don't really have any way to optimize your ads. You have to find a way to send that data back to Facebook. So in order to send that data back to Facebook, you absolutely have to install this CAPI. So in Shopify, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the Shopify App Store and install the Facebook Sales Channel app and get that all set up. And then you want to go into the analytics section and turn everything on and make sure that it's pushing as much information as humanly possible. So that is very, very important to do. And in the other side of things, if you have WooCommerce, there is a plugin and integration that allows you to take it over there. So I'm going to link in the in the description to a couple of articles on exactly how to do this for your brand, okay? Because you're going to want to do this right away. If you're an agency, you're going to find that you're going to have a little bit of trouble here because you need to be an admin on the business manager of your client. So what I would recommend is you get together with your client and screen share with them and take them through actually connecting their profile through that Shopify account or through that WooCommerce. Because if you ever part ways, then, obviously it won't be like the Shopify store and the Facebook data. It all sits with you as an agency. You want it to be with your client, right? So you give it to your client. Also, chances are most agencies are not admins on the business manager of their clients. So this will fix that. So that's the number one thing that you need to do. And you also want to go into your Facebook events manager and make sure that you have on your Pixel and make sure that you have advanced matching turned on. Okay, so you're going to do those things. Okay, now the other thing that I would say is that you want to start investigating Facebook and Instagram shops. Now, I've never been too big on Facebook and Instagram shops because simply you can't control the experience. So much of where you send people in after an ad matters, what that experience is like. And even though it's native in Facebook, at the same time, you don't get as much of an opportunity to sell them. You don't get the opportunity to do a lot of marketing after the click. And doing marketing after the click is really important. So you're sort of at the behest of that. But at the same time, if you've got Facebook and Instagram shops set up and you do this with Shopify through this Facebook plugin, then you're in a good position to be able to track because everything is happening within the Facebook ecosystem. Obviously, we don't want to be just putting all of our eggs in the Facebook basket. But listen, if you're a small business that is making millions of dollars a year, as many are, just on Facebook ads, you're going to be screwed if you don't start thinking about this stuff now. Okay, so investigation on Facebook and Instagram shops. Also, I think for 2021, you really need to start thinking about diversifying. This gets hard because, number one, this third-party tracking affects everything. So it also affects Google. So Google's not going to be able to track when you buy things either if people are opting out because Apple's going to put this on all apps. Now, that being said, diversifying overall helps just boost your brand awareness, and it just makes it so that depending on which platforms are operating their tracking in different ways, it just allows you to not have all of your eggs in one basket. So if Facebook starts failing on you, once all of this stuff starts to happen with iOS 14, you'll have YouTube there, you'll have Google there, whatever it may be. You can start looking into Twitter and Pinterest. At the same time, don't get crazy. Pinterest, Twitter, these are not as powerful of algorithms. There's a reason why everybody's putting their money into Facebook and Instagram. Bigger user base, better machine learning. Makes ROI better overall. Now, of course, some brands have made a killing on these other platforms, and it just depends on what your business is. It's worth testing 100%. But keep in mind, It's not just a Facebook and Instagram thing. Apple blocking this potentially on your phone means every single advertiser, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, Google, they're all going to be affected. TikTok, all of them, because they all rely on what's called a third-party cookie to optimize that little piece of code on your website. And if somebody on their phone hits brink, no, I don't want my data tracked, well, goodbye third-party cookie. You're going to have other ways to send that information back to Facebook. Do this now. Get on this now. The time is now. Things are happening in the world very quickly, and things are happening in advertising very quickly, and it is going to change overnight. And you do not want to be on the other end, the bad end of that overnight. Getting these things in place right now is 100% crucial. And like I said, there's a little bonus tip here at the end. I am telling you right now that you need to start relying more when it comes to retargeting your ads, meaning when you're trying to show things to people that have already seen interest in your brand, so they're not a cold audience, they're a warm audience. You need to start leveraging video in your Facebook advertising if you're not, or utilize it more if you're not using it a ton. Why? Because you can still retarget based on what people are watching videos. If things are happening inside Facebook, that means that you can retarget them. It's just going to be much harder to retarget with things that happen off of Facebook, so things that happen on your website. But as long as you can get people to take valuable actions or send signals to you, to your brand, to your advertising, to the algorithms that they're interested in your products and services on Facebook, meaning watching videos and engaging in other ways with your content, you can retarget those people still. So when you keep things inside the Facebook ecosystem, you can continue to retarget in the correct ways. I've got a lot more videos on this channel that show you how to leverage social video, write social video scripts, do all of these things. Click one of these links and see the description below, and I'll talk to you soon.